Okay, this lesson 19.3 is going to be solving proportions. So we're using what we did in the previous lesson of creating a proportion, and now we're going to solve for a variable that we do not know. So we're going to do this cross multiplying. Let's say I have something like this. 2 over 3 equals n over 33. So I'm going to use my cross multiplying. That 2 times 33 is 66, and that should equal 3 times n. So we're just going to write that 3n. Now we're using what we did in previous chapters. We know that this 3 and the n is being multiplied, and so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we divide each side by 3. I have n equals, and then 66 divided by 3 is going to be 22. We just solved for n. Let's go ahead and try another one. Let's say I have 10 over 16 equals 3 over x. I'm going to cross multiply. So I'll say 3 times 16, which is going to be 48. And then I have 10 times x, which is 10x. And in order to solve, this 10 and the x are being multiplied, so I divide both sides by 10. I can cancel those 10s out. I'm left with x on the right. X is going to equal 48 over 10. I can simplify that to divide each side by 2, divide each side by 2. I'd get 24 over 5. So I can keep it like this, or I can say x equals 4 and 4/5. I want to leave everything as a fraction unless we're given decimals. The only time we want to use decimals is if we start with a decimal. Okay, so in this case, we'll go ahead and do an example that does have a decimal in it. If I get a partial part as an answer, I do want to give my answer in decimal form. We'll see if that's the case with this one. So we'll go ahead and start with taking the bottom of the left and cross multiply to the top on the right. 30 times 3 is going to give me 90, and I'm going to make that equal this 2.5 times p. And I know that they are multiplying because they're smushed up next to each other. And in order to get this p by itself, I want to divide by the number in front of it. So I'll divide by 2.5. Whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So that's going to go ahead and give me, this cancels out to get the p by itself. 90 divided by 2.5 is going to give me 36. So I solved for p. P equals 36. And I can write it like this, or I can write it with the variable on the left-hand side, if that's a little bit easier for you. Your homework then for this lesson, this is 19.3. Again, you are going to do the RW side, which is normally the front when we have a printed worksheet. You will do all of the examples, so there are no word problems here. You need to make sure that you are showing your work. What are you cross multiplying in order to solve that proportion? You need to show that work, okay? So 1 through 12 all. Good luck.